the first three categories are the format that was discussed last month as being part of the process of evaluating the president. The last one I added. So the first area that I was asked to comment on is the role and job of the president. This has been an evolution for me from 2013 as I went from president of the system only to president and I chancellor to now, just within the past couple of months, the merged role. A big part of why I believe that will work more effectively for the university is the establishment of the provost position and also the formal recognition of the what we call hybrid vice presidents. And in particular, Jan Gouveia is considered an integral part of the Mānoa management team as well as the system management team. The other big change over the past year is really the shifts we've made with the UH Foundation to really move our advancement agenda forward. This was one of my major priorities for last year. That also changes my job. Quite literally, this foundation CEO walks into the room and says, "Hey boss," even though he technically reports to the board of the foundation, he understands that his job as UH Vice President for Advancement is to move the university forward in partnership with the rest of the UH team through what he can do with the UH Foundation. In terms of major goals, and some of these were, most of these, in particular the first ones, were the items that we laid out last year as being priorities for the board and I. We've had several presentations this year on reconceptualizing the planning framework. Some of those have been in committee. What I will say is that the work led by Vice President Strain, but with the officers, and yesterday we also worked with the chancellors, to really take the IAFP document, which is as is a relatively static document, but take those principles and ideas and bring them into the formal UH planning framework is a big part of what we're doing. And at the core, without going into it again, we have the decadal study where we really look at the needs of the state for a 10-year period. We have the strategic directions which lay out on typically a 5 or 6 year time frame. And then the key is these integrated 6-year rolling plans across the major areas of academics, enrollment, facilities, and finances. It's a work in progress to do it, but we're all committed to make this work in an integrated manner. Second major priority identified was how we do our land development. This has been a good year. We talked last year around this time about our commitment to keep some projects moving, and in the process of executing projects to learn enough to figure out what our structure should be. I think we have delivered on that. The Atherton project, while everyone may not agree with what we're doing, we are moving forward purposefully with the foundation in a manner consistent with the lease that the board had approved. We also have the National Marine Fisheries Services building, or NOAA building, that is going ahead. With Atherton, we have selected our preferred P3 developer and are going into the exclusive negotiating period. With NOAA, we are reviewing the proposals now and expect to follow the same process, learning those lessons along the way. On the A2 agenda today for posting is the selection of a director of the Office of Strategic Projects. What we have done is taken one new position and put it together with a couple of existing positions in order to create this office, and Vice President Young has agreed to lead this effort for us. So I think we have delivered on our commitment to both keep projects moving and to put an initial structure into place. Enrollment management has been a key focus. I think the discussion earlier today highlighted the importance of enrollment to us financially, but it's also important to us achieving our mission. I won't belabor those numbers. I'll say a little bit about it right now, but all of our campuses, but in particular, I think we're seeing the results at the two campuses that were really hurting, UH Mānoa and UH Hilo. Last year at this time, I also talked about UH embracing our role in addressing the grand challenges that address that's a Clinton Gore term, by the way, that address the state of Hawaii, and in particular, we identified 3 of them. One is the health of the people of Hawaii, one is around sustainability, and one was around the economy. I've given you some highlights, probably in the order of major progress, but you have seen what we're doing with the U Healthy initiative. It is vibrant and going strong both within UH and the community. Lots of work on sustainability, although we haven't yet really focused on the big ideas yet. In my email yesterday, I got a request to participate in a $100 million proposal, so we will see, but that gives you a sense of the way we're thinking about big ideas. In the area of economy, in my discussions with Vice President Sirmos, we are talking seriously about how to, I'll use the term, reboot the Hawaii Innovation Initiative and find a direction that's going to take us somewhere faster than what we have been doing over the past several years. Other major initiatives were the Mānoa reorganization. Phase 1 is done, Phase 2 is underway, and I reported earlier today on our progress. I will say, while what you hear in these meetings is concern about change, the Phase 2 reorganization is really exciting to me because it's focused on outcomes like educational excellence and student success rather than on processes like academic affairs and student affairs and more conventional terms. And I think as we bring those into our vocabulary and vernacular, I believe those names of organizations will have influence. I mentioned the reboot of advancement. This was a huge effort for me over the past year, restructuring the relationship, bringing in the new CEO, and the integration that is now underway both within the areas of advancement, that is alumni relations, fundraising, communication, and doing that with UH in partnership with the deans. I love the team that you see here today at every meeting, and I will tell you that the enthusiasm of the deans and others for the new foundation CEO, even people who don't agree with specific decisions he's making, there's huge enthusiasm for the real leadership and engagement with UH. I'll just highlight some of the other notable outcomes over the year. Our numbers are good, and as Vice President Straney commented, the idea that we, for decades, use headcount enrollment as our metric is it's not really a good metric, but if we change metrics, then we can't measure progress. So we continue to use it, but we have the largest full-time freshman class in history at UH Manoa this year. We have the highest first-year retention to second-year retention in history at Manoa. We have the highest four-year graduation rate in history at Manoa. Similar great progress with our transfer student success. Some of those tend to be the second best numbers in our history. At West Oahu, we have the largest full-time transfer in class in history this year. We have the highest first-year to second-year retention in history of our full-time students at UH West Oahu. At Hilo, we have the highest six-year or 150% graduation rate in our history. We have the highest three-year transfer graduation rate in history at Hilo. So we are moving the bar on measures that make a difference for students. It is no small matter, and I thank General Counsel for this, but we secured the permit for the 30-meter telescope and the primary litigation is over. As I mentioned earlier, the rules are in process along with work on updates to the master plan, comprehensive master plan, and the EIS for the new land tenure. In bringing in that other work that I mentioned we need to do, I am really excited about the Huahe Noa program. I showed you the short video where we have engaged Hawaiian students in actually naming celestial objects that are discovered here in Hawaii, both on Maui and on Maunakea. A number of new degree programs, I won't read them all. Thank you for your approval. These are the game changers, I think, that will help us bring students in for exciting new areas. a nice reorganization at UH Hilo that went under the radar to you, not under the radar to the last two chancellors. I will assure you, in terms of, again, concern about change, some great progress on construction, moving into the new building that opened at UH West Oahu. We are completing the College of Pharmacy building at UH Hilo to move in the fall. The work is underway on the Life Science building with great progress, and we broke ground on the Creative Media building at UH West Oahu, which will be a system resource. At UH Mānoa, a lot of focus on interdisciplinary initiatives. So even as the big reorganizations are going on, our Institute for Sustainability and Resilience, our Data Science Institute, and our work on the microbiome, all of which are showing success in extramural funding, excitement and enthusiasm bringing people together from across the campus. The community colleges completed a remarkable fundraising job for the Culinary Institute of the Pacific. That $10 million unlocks $20 million in state funding. The institutionalization of the HiNet program is something Hawaii can be proud of as a state. That's more than the community colleges. That's also our partners in government as well. And in looking at our enrollment challenges, I think this online AA program designed for returning adults will be a game changer for the way we serve a population that we identified as a challenge and we're now reaching out to meet. I will say, and Calvert might not use these words exactly, but I will, we had a lot of drama at the legislature this session, and we also ended up with the best CIP budget since I've been president. Not just the numbers, but the fact that almost all of it and all of the big ticket items are the things that we wanted, including enough money to actually not only keep up with our deferred maintenance for the year, but make a dent in the backlog. We haven't done that in the past. So let me close just with some of the areas that I think I believe and we need to focus on. One is that continuing reorganizations at Manoa. I think the lessons of the legislative session are clear, and we need to find ways to do better with them and avoid the unnecessary negative drama. Maunakea will be a focus for at least the next year and probably longer. We do need to continue to work on our community college enrollment, and particularly the transfer rates. That's something that we need to do together. That's not something that the community colleges can do alone. I mentioned rebooting the Hawaii Innovation Initiative to focus on economic development. I will say it is very clear from the work we're already doing with the foundation that we're going to need to figure out a better way to finance the work of the foundation. We have the infamous $3 million cap on how much tuition we can put in, but I think we need some new approaches to financing that work. And I believe with new leadership we can substantially grow our philanthropic contribution to the work UH needs to do. And finally, a major set of leadership transitions next year. Hilo, community colleges, 2 community college chancellors, several long-serving Manoa deans, Manoa vice provosts, I love MVP as their title, and of course, changes in the regions have a lot of impact both on you and on the entire university. So that's what we'll be up to.